Hi, everyone. Anne O'Connell with OC Publishing here, and welcome to the author journey. We've got a little bit of a different show for you today, and I'm really excited about it. Both of my guests are what Guy Kawasaki and Sean Welch would call apes. Let that sink in for a minute. Author, publisher, entrepreneurs. And if you haven't read that book, Ape, I highly recommend it. But for now, we'll shift over to who my two guests are today. These two women are the creators behind the fantastic Grown Up Book Fair that everyone's talking about coming up on December 9th. They've built quite a buzz, and I can't wait to bring them up to tell you all about it. First, we have Karen Dean, resilience expert, inspiring speaker, entrepreneur, fierce leader, best-selling author, mentor, mom, survivor, advocate, and limit pusher. And once you hear her talk, that's just a short list. Her first book, We Are Unbreakable, Raw, Real Stories of Resilience from Women in Nova Scotia in 2020, is a collection of inspiring stories about the unprecedented year of 2020, written by 22 incredible women who call Nova Scotia home. In 2022, she published Fierce and Fabulous, a self-love journal, which provides readers with a daily practice to reconnect to their inner self and become even more successful, both personally and professionally. Erin Morris, who is a publisher and an author, as well from a Black Box Publishing House, is a Halifax-based educator and theater maker. Erin's debut novel, We Happy Few, is set in the shipyards of wartime Halifax. Her other works and endeavors, including creativity retreats, children's theater, and collaborations with local artists, have inspired audiences for years. She pulls her inspiration from local stories, former students, and time spent in nature with her husband and two children. So I think that probably sets this up beautifully and gives you a little bit of an indication how these two women met and this idea exploded. So I'm going to bring them up to join me and have them tell you all about it. Hang on. Hi, Erin. Hi, Karen. Yay! Welcome to the author journey. I'm so excited to have you. And boy, have we got a lot to unpack today.
Thanks so much for having us, Anne. It's exciting to be back.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Yes, you've both been on as authors and entrepreneurs, because I think in your interviews we also had talked about your publishing journeys as well as your author journeys, and you just couldn't let it ride, could you? Which is, I mean, there's many of us, and I imagine that we have several of the authors who are going to be participating in the fantastic Grown Up Book Fair who will be watching today. So hopefully they'll put some comments in. So why don't we just jump in and tell us about the meeting where this idea blew up, and who wants to start?
I can start.
Okay. Sure, sounds good.
So Aaron and I met in Dieppe Riverview, technically, I guess, at a book fair. We had never met in person before, and I felt we just really clicked. And then at the book fair, we were like, we could do this. So we met a few weeks later at a local restaurant, and it was, like you said, just sparks flying about this. Oh, a grown-up book fair. Oh, what rhymes with scholastic? Fantastic. And we put it all together. And like while we were sitting in the restaurant, I bought the domain. And as soon as I got home, I set up a Facebook page and Instagram and created the branding. And here we are.
Okay, let me just add this. So here it is. Okay, it's Erin. So what did you think when this crazy, excited, idea-filled woman was coming at you?
It's too, though.
I mean that in the nicest way, because Erin, you know, you and I have sat and chatted. So
yeah,
I'm going to say parallel people, kind of.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was, you know, want to give a little shout out to Ellen Hudson, who organized that book fair in Riverview. And we sort of sat there and thought, we need these in Nova Scotia. Like, this is very cool. We need opportunities for, you know, local authors, indie published, hybrid published, you know, self-published. They just need opportunities to gather. We just thought it was so cool. And so we were like, yeah, we could do this in Nova Scotia. And so, you know, it was a very, Karen and I connected really quickly and really started to like have a vision really, really quickly of what we wanted to do. And we really wanted it to, have a lot of whimsy and delight and fun. And we really wanted to create like community. I think community falls into a lot of what we are both interested in the work we do, as authors, as publishers, but also like the other work we do, because we both have like various hats
Real
that we wear.
jobs.
Yeah. And we were really excited about also creating a space where authors could sort of build community, network, learn from each other. Because I think it's so, it's kind of like, it can feel very isolating, this work that we're doing, like in front of, at a notebook or in front of a screen by ourselves. And so I myself have had so much sort of like confirmation and inspiration found when I just get to rub elbows with other people who are doing it their way, and their way might be different than mine, but we all have something to learn from each other. And so we wanted to create a gathering of people that was both like book sales and signings, like there is a component there, right? But also like an opportunity for all those people to just like compare notes and talk about how they do what they do. And I like what you're doing. How did you come up with that idea? And, and be able to just sort of, shoot the shit a little
so
bit.
exciting. And, it's so funny because I think your very first post, Erin, and I went, oh, yes. And I'm like, oh, can I have 2 tables? Oh my God, where's all my other authors, right? So it just, all of a sudden, it felt so right. And Karen, you talk about branding, and you guys like are the branding masters. And if your mission was to create like a community and a space for all genres and all, authors who are using all different models, you have already succeeded. Because the buzz that's going on and people going, oh my God, I'll be there. And are you going to be there? And, you see someone else posting and you're like, oh my gosh, I know Bruce Bishop. He's going to be there too. Oh, yay. Yeah. Jill, yay. So it's just, and we're sharing each other's posts, and it's really, I think that your goal and your mission just comes through. So, I mean, you can say, okay, our goal is X, Y, Z, but when you see it in action before the event even happens, then that's just golden, you guys. I just think that.
Yeah. Thank you, Anne. Thank you for saying that. I think, like, I don't know about you, Karen, but that feels pretty lovely to hear. We're sometimes so busy with like our head sort of down, trying to get the work done and get the event put together, that sometimes that's not always clear or apparent, but yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's exciting.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And we do have some eyeballs on us today. Sue Slade says, hello, everyone. Speaking of someone who supports the book community here, Sue Slade from Dartmouth Book Exchange. And
she's actually a sponsor of the event. She's donating some things to help us out. So we're very grateful for that.
Oh, that's awesome. And who are some of your other sponsors?
We have, for our author social at the end, and I just want to add to what Erin said. I was at a conference in Jasper recently, and one of the speakers talked about collaboration and how collaboration is currency. And I really hope that Erin and I are a model of that in collaborating in this, but I hope that comes through at the event for everyone who's there, that, boosting each other just boosts all of us. So it's so powerful. But our sponsors, we have Truro Buzz doing some free promotion for us. We have Novelty, which is a bookstore and a gift shop in Truro. They are going to be one of our vendors at the event, but they're also sponsoring our author social along with, help me, Erin.
Heather DeVoe Instructional Design.
Yes.
Excellent.
They are sponsoring our social. And who am I missing?
The photographer.
Oh yeah. Stacy, and I don't know if I'm going to butcher her last name. I think it's McQuegan. She is a photographer, and she is going to have a backdrop set up for people to come and do mini photo shoots. So they can you can bring your kids to do photo shoots. You can do bestie photo shoots. You can update your headshot if you need it for your business. any of those things, she will be there all day. You just sign up when you get there. And she's also going to be doing some like candid photos throughout the event of everyone. So that's really
that's fantastic. I want to also shout out to Mark and Lana Shoop who are watching. Hi
cool.
guys.
Hey, guys.
Yay, we love them. And we're just so excited that all of this is happening. And when you say this is like a fun-filled sort of never before type event, you're not kidding, because we've all done the book signings and the book sales, and I look back to when I was a kid, and books were a huge part of my childhood and in my household. And Scholastic books, oh my gosh, when you got that flyer in your hand and the fairs. So that, I mean, this is just so me, like just from A to Z. But you've added some other layers. So talk a little bit about, so you talked about the photographer that's coming. And of course, we want to talk this up because, the authors are excited about it. And you've got more than 50 authors and other publishers. But we also would like it to be full of people who are coming to buy books. So what other things are going to be going on for the folks who are attending?
Well, I mean, I think you've outlined most of it, right? The idea really is for people to come and be able to interact and connect with local authors. It's an opportunity for local authors to connect with their readers. And I know, like, that's always, personally for me, that's always so fun and exciting when I get to have a conversation with the person that's about to read or has read my book. Like, it's so fun to talk about. It's one thing for you to create this thing and then put it out in the world, right? But that feedback loop is so fun. And it's so, and I find sometimes too, like, it's just so interesting to get a reader's perspective on what they thought, or, what they liked, or what they were challenged with, and whatnot. And I think the other piece too is that I love just talking to other readers. So even if they haven't read my book and they're sort of like walking by my table, it's just fun to like connect with other. I write historical fiction, so it's it's a certain kind of reader that's coming off into my table, and it's so fun to just like chat about what are you reading, what have you read, and and I always come away from events like this with like an increase to my to be read pile. So that piece is fun too, right?
Gets bigger and bigger.
Gets bigger and bigger every time. So that piece, like community on all kinds of levels, right? So community sort of like connecting with our readers, and hopefully developing some following here, here locally with the people that are in our communities, right? So there's that piece. And then I'm also really excited about the author social, as I was talking about a minute ago, that for us to create some connections between and among us. And that part, I'm almost as excited for the author social as I am for the day as a whole.
I love it.
Because these are people that we, I don't know, like even before I'd met Karen, I knew who Karen was. I had been following her social media. These are people whose work we're following. And so there's people coming that I'm excited. I'm legitimately fangirling and excited to meet because, I've read their books and I can't wait to like meet them and have like an in real life conversation and moment with them. So, and I think that people attending will get that as well. But there is going to be a bit of a holiday buzz. We've got some really great vendors that are going to be bringing sort of, in my mind, those book fairs of our youth, like it was so, I remember like I would get $20 and I would, that's, if I was lucky, 20, maybe it was more like 10. I don't know. I might be like remembering with rose colored glasses.
Inflation.
20 seems like a lot now that I think about my mom and like how much money we had. And I remember being told like, you can buy yourself a book and don't waste it on the other things. But gosh, I like wanted those pencils and the erasers and like the posters and, the bookmarks. And so, we're going to have several vendors that are going to be sort of supplying the adult version of that. So we've got some bookish vendors that are going to be there. That's going to bring some of that whimsy. And I think it's just going to be, we're going to be pumping like the 1980s, 90s playlist in the background. We're going to have some food available. Like just the what's the word I'm looking for, Karen? the
The
canteen.
magic.
Yeah, we're gonna have
magic.
like a canteen, you know what I
There is
mean?
a canteen
Oh, yay.
And just the idea
provided
of
by the
like,
Legion. So,
Okay, now
yeah.
don't be surprised if I don't bust a move, right?
oh,
By my
I'll be
table.
busting moves.
Excellent. I'll be swapping out fun party hats and Christmas
Fun.
elf hats, and you just wait, right? And I bet you, I mean, it's just you have created this, the excitement is really building. So, you know, when the authors are walking in, then that energy is just going to be incredible. And I also want to, you know, back to the readers and, you know, the book lovers who will be coming, don't hesitate to engage in conversation with these authors, because like Erin said, like we thrive on that, you know. And you know, you might be watching, you know, Book Talk or, you know, booktubers or whatever, and authors, you know, talking about their work, but there's that screen kind of, you know, in between you. So here is like flesh and blood. You know, so I think it's an amazing opportunity to really engage and, you know, support local. You know, it's
Yeah.
you know,
It's a
'tis the
great
season.
opportunity to shop local before the holidays too. Hey, like there's no
Huge.
better gift than a book. And the great thing about the lineup that we have coming is that there's going to be a book, a genre, a writing style for everybody, because we've got
Absolutely.
such a diverse group of people.
Mhm.
I did want to mention too, I noticed, Karen, we just got a message today from a person who qualified herself as a bibliophile, and she was like, listen, I'm so excited about this event, but I don't think I can make it. And as a bibliophile, it's just heartbreaking because it's happening in my backyard. And I thought, what a great way to.
Oops. What
Oh,
did I do?
no.
Oh, oops.
You're back.
What did I do? I don't know what I did. Okay, continue. Can I hear you? Oh my goodness.
No.
I don't think I did anything. Hang on. Where are you? Oh,
Are you muted, Erin?
I don't have you muted. Are you muted? Hang on.
Just like that, she was gone.
Well, that's weird. Okay, let me see. I'm going to bring you up in solo layout and then see.
Hey.
Can you hear me? No. Is,
This is a
Well,
glitch we've not experienced before.
this is a glitch I have not experienced before. Edit mic settings. You're okay. Can
If we could read your
you?
lips, Erin, that'd be great.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's just do you exit solo layout? Do you want to exit and then come back in? And we'll get Karen to talk a little bit about her background. Do you want to try that?
Okay.
Can everybody hear me if you're watching? Okay, Jane Doucette. Jane says, love your glasses, Erin. Jane Doucette's watching. Hi, Jane.
Oh, hi, Jane. Oh, so Erin's gone. She'll come back.
Okay, she'll come back.
So back to that message. It was just really cool to hear from someone who, you know, couldn't be there but really wanted to be there. And what I was going to add is, in the last week, almost every day, I've gotten a message from an author who wasn't able to get in the lineup, say, can I still get in?
Mm-hmm.
And our waiting list of people who did not get to come to this event as authors is as long as the number of people who are coming.
Oh,
and
my
I
gosh.
think that's just so exciting to me
Mm-hmm.
that we have so many talented people in our area and
Mm-hmm.
that we get to showcase them. But I just love the whole getting together. And like Erin
Mm-hmm.
said about getting to talk to the author, and I wish she was here to hear this, because I'm not an historian. I've told her this already, but I'm not a historical fiction reader at all. So, hey, you're back.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yay. Okay, yay. Don't you love live broadcasts? So
amazing.
So
I do
Erin,
live theater is my first passion. So I completely completely get it.
How's that improv working for you today, Erin?
We did a little tap dance while we waited for you. And can I tell you, I for one am really excited that it's in Truro. You know, I'm in Halifax myself, but we have such a huge community of authors throughout, not just Nova Scotia, but throughout the Atlantic provinces. And I can't tell you how often I hear, you know, everything happens in Halifax, right? I mean, did that feed into, other than Karen, you know, you're outside of Halifax as well. Like, how did you decide where to have it?
Truro is just really central, and
Mhm.
it's worked in that we've attracted authors are coming from Cape Breton, they're coming from New Brunswick.
Mhm.
So it's a central place. I've been to events at the Legion before, and it's a great venue. It's got
Mhm.
sufficient parking. It's, you know, not right in the downtown where you have to worry about traffic jams and things.
Right.
And it's a great little town, and I'm happy to bring that to them. And as I was talking, actually, a gentleman who works for one of the business development organizations in the area, and he was saying that, you know, they promote businesses from Colchester County. And I said, well, to be quite honest, nobody who's attending the event, like nobody of the authors, nor me or Aaron, I don't think any of them actually live in Colchester County. And we're bringing all of these people to Colchester County for the day.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So
Wow.
I think that says a lot about the event, and
That's amazing.
the, you know, just the need for all of us to get
Yeah.
together and to have that many authors in the same room and
That's
communicating
fantastic.
and getting to meet the readers. Like I said, I'm not a historical fiction reader, but when I read Aaron's book, I was like, whoa, this is not what I thought historical fiction was.
I avoided it. Well, I know that there's a few other historical fiction writers who are going to be there. So, and now, and Jane says, "Yay, Aaron, we can hear you! Yay!" And
Okay, good.
Sue,
Woo!
yay! Sue says, "I've already started my Christmas list of books." You know what? I don't even bother doing a list because that list just goes out the window, and I wind up buying like twice as many. So that's my biggest thing when I do book fairs is, you know, if I sell 10 books, I buy 20. So I never come out on top other than wonderful new books to read. So
Totally.
To me, I guess that's coming out on top.
And, you know, something I wanted to mention that I was thinking about too was the site, like, you know, I don't know how other authors feel, but I myself in the past, so We Happy Few is about, what is it now? It'll be 2 years old this spring. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Already. Wow.
You know, I know already. When's my next book coming out? I
Jeez.
got to get my butt in here.
Come on.
You know, it's the first year of sitting in bookstores by myself at that table and trying to, like, you know, not beg and plead for attention, but essentially sort of like, you know, draw in. And I'm
sitting
listen,
here.
I can talk to anybody. This is a gift. I've got the gift of gab from my grandfather, and I can find something in common with any other human being. But it's a little soul sucking.
Oh
you know,
my gosh.
The
They
first
walk
one's
by.
so exciting. The second one's so fun. And then it starts to like, and for me, I thought we've got to find some ways for authors to get out there and get their face out to the public that isn't as soul sucking as sitting there at that table by yourself.
People trying very hard not to make eye contact.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, you and your daughter have been doing a whole lot of
we take
book
Aaron
signings.
with us now, though.
And Aaron, yes. Oh, yes. You went to the Container Village, the three of you?
Yeah, the Container Village was fun.
I want to go. It looks amazing.
They're going to be there again next year, and I recommend going and doing a signing. It's a long drive, and I got a parking ticket for the first time in my life. But anyway, because I used the app and it didn't go through. But anyway,
oh my goodness,
it was a good day. So yeah, it was really fun. And
and what a great idea to partner up like that. And like Aaron says, sitting there, you know, at a signing and it's really dead and it's soul sucking. But if you have somebody with you, you know, I've done, you know, a few where I've teamed up some of my authors, and I think it really does, you know, make a big difference. We also, Bruce just joined us. Hi, Bruce Bishop. Hi, Bruce. He's going to be coming. He says, "Hi, ladies. I'm looking forward to this event. Hats off to you for taking the initiative. Tech question: will there be space behind the authors table to set up a 6-foot banner or two?"
Depends on where we put you.
I guess we'll have to suss that out when we get
Send
there.
us an email, Bruce, and I will try to. I'm doing the layout. It'll be sent out the week before the event, so I will try to
Excellent.
work that in. But I make no promises.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
Karen's.
it's.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Anne.
I was going to say it's like any sort of event or book signing or fair that you go to. You kind of have to take in your surroundings and see what may or may not fit or block
Mhm.
others or you
Yeah.
know be a good So-
Yeah, it's kind of like being on tour. When you take a show on tour, you kind of like you have to be flexible. You have to
Yeah.
sort of like create a thing that can,
Yeah.
pardon me, expand to the space if you have to, or contract to space if you don't have too much. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Jane Doucette has a question. How did you choose the date? Did you know the Booktoberfest event at Halifax Central Library would be following closely on December 11th?
we didn't. We literally just we determined Truro. We thought that was a good starting place to like gather people, like to
Mhm.
gather authors. Pardon me, because our first thought was, well, there's no event if we don't have authors excited about coming.
Mhm.
And so we thought Truro would be a great kind of like, it is the hub. So
Yeah.
Truro sort of like would be a great central
Yes.
point to gather people.
Yeah.
And from there, we just started to look at locations, and we had a couple of dates
Availability.
from the Truro Legion, and we
Yeah.
just picked a date. We didn't know that Booktober was going to be so close.
Well, and you guys, I mean, this has been in the works for many, many months. Like,
Since
what was
April.
April? Yeah. So, and of course, I don't know when the Booktoberfest date was set, but for me, it's one of those like you won't have to unpack the event boxes in between, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Keep
true.
them in your car.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not unusual for the holiday season as well. So, many of the authors who will be there will probably be doing other, events like Christmas at the Forum or, the market events and stuff. So,
Yeah, I think we
Mm.
sent out, this event was sold out by the end of August. Yes, is that correct?
It was like mid-August when we were
Like
sold.
sold out in terms of author
Space.
tables. So
Mhm.
we sort of like put the word out and I think
Mhm.
maybe at the end of June, and then by mid-August we were full up. And so
Mhm.
we're still getting requests. Oh, hey, I just heard about that event. I'd love to be involved. And we wish we had an infinite amount of space, but we
Mhm.
don't. And we've been full up for,
Yeah.
the entire fall. So, pardon me. But we're really excited that there's so much interest, and I
Mhm.
think that means it'll be so much easier. We're now looking at some locations. I'm so sorry. I'm really
It's
froggy all of a
okay.
sudden.
Well, I was just going to say, I think I saw somewhere that you were planning to do it in other cities in the next
Not even
in the
just
coming
planning.
years.
We're having communities reach out and ask us, could you come?
Oh,
Could you bring
oh,
this event?
Yeah.
So yeah, we are doing some planning, but we've also
good.
had a community on the South Shore reach out. So we'd really love to bring this
Fantastic.
down to the South Shore. We've
Mhm.
had someone reach out from PEI. Is this an event you'd be willing to bring to PEI? Yeah, so it's
Jeez.
basically I feel like we have a toolkit,
Yeah.
and we can sort of like open it up and apply it anywhere. It's just really about finding space and
And that
finding
wonderful
authors.
branding. So I'm going to bring that the website up again. The Fantastic Grown Up Book Fair. It's happening on December 9th, and there's so much going on. Royal Canadian Legion on Brunswick Street in Truro, Nova Scotia, and this
Oh
is
We didn't talk
yeah.
exciting.
about that yet. We have an author coming. We're going to be dropping some hints on our social media in the next couple of weeks. But we have an author coming who's launching his first book, and we're pretty excited about it.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. And if anybody has any guesses, don't put them in the comments because we don't
No.
want
We're
want
not
any
telling you anyway.
spoilers. No, that's right. I have some guesses, but and also I want to go back to the fact that because you guys like that sort of moment when you met at that book fair and then you met for coffee and the ideas just started flying and you started branding the event and you started putting your checklist together. These things don't happen just by osmosis. These things happen because of the connectivity and the collaboration. And so I want to just totally commend you guys, but I also want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about, your books. Take a minute or two before we wrap up, and if we start with Karen, and I'm going to bring up you. I did run your websites, but if you tell us a little bit about, there you are, yay!
Hi.
I'm
First,
gonna
I
bring.
want to say that this event didn't, it happened because Aaron and I, when I put on our social media that we are the dream team, I truly mean that.
Mhm.
We just work so well together and in such a positive way, in that we can go, oh no, that's a stupid idea, but nobody gets offended. And
I
it's
love that.
amazing. So, yeah, we really are a great team. And that's why this event is as good as it is. But my books, you can see them, oh, wrong side, behind me. We Are Unbreakable, like you said, is my story and 21 other women's stories about the year of 2020. I'm very proud to say, is a Canadian bestseller. It was ahead of the incredible Peter Mansbridge, released a book a week before I released that book, and I was ahead of it's not my book, it's our book, but we were ahead of Peter Mansbridge for 6 months on Amazon, so that was pretty cool. And then when I released Fierce and Fabulous, it was really just sharing tools that have helped me get through some really hard times in my life. And I wanted other people to have those tools to get through their hard times. And again, the more you practice kindness, gratitude, and self love, it just aids in you being more successful in everything in your life, whether it's your business, your relationships, everything. So it's a really helpful tool. And I know that Lana Shoup uses hers and loves it and tells me every time I talk to her. So I'm really grateful for the people who have reached out and told me what a difference it has made in their lives.
Oh, me too. I think I mentioned I wrote it in a few times. It's not easy though. Like, when you
No.
sit down and start writing, but I think that it was an amazing uh, tool.
What I hear the most is it's really hard to come up with ways that you are kind to yourself.
Hmm.
Really hard to come up with more than 3 things you love about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. But you know what? Once you're on a roll, it gets a little easier.
And that's
So
the goal, is by
right.
the time you have the book complete and you need another copy, it should be easier.
Right, right. Okay, Erin, talk a little bit about your book. And
Okay.
oops,
Can
sorry.
everybody hear me okay? Is everything,
Yeah,
is volume still okay? All right.
you're good. Yep.
I'm just worried now. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, this is my first novel, We Happy Few. It's a historical fiction taking place in Halifax at the end of the Second World War, during the 2 days of rioting. At the end, sort of after when the victory in Europe was announced. It's a little spicy.
A little spicy.
A little
Yay!
spicy. Karen tells me I should say that more often. Sometimes
Yes.
I don't intentionally leave it out. I just, to me, like, I don't know. It's just part of the story. Yeah, it's about a young woman who is working really for the first time and sort of finds herself in her work, and she knows the war is coming to an end, and so she's really processing what will happen to her when the war ends, because she know her work at the shipyards is going to come to an end as well. She's a welder, and so I really I kind of like look back now, and I can see how a whole bunch of steps in my life led to creating Polly and her story. I'm an educator. I've been an educator for 20 years. In particularly, like, I'm an arts educator, so theater, dance, creative movement. So basically storytelling. Like, my whole career has been storytelling, but in a different medium. And this book was a play. Originally, I kept trying to write it as a play, and I just couldn't make it happen. It just wouldn't work. And then I realized, oh crap, it's because it's a novel. And at that point, what did I know? I didn't know anything. And so I started to learn. I started to take workshops. I started to just, learn from people who had done it before, get their advice, get their thoughts. And I do think of myself as like, I've been a storyteller my entire life, and it was just about learning how to do it in a new medium. And so, yeah, that's We Happy Few, and it was released in May 2022. And through Black Box Publishing House, which is, I'm co-publisher at Black Box. Heather Epp is the other publisher, and we're working on, Heather is about to have a baby any minute now, so we've kind of put things sort of like just on pause, while she sort of settles into motherhood for the first time. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at, and we're, our publishing house is about maritime authors, works by, for, and about women. So our focus is really, stories for women, by women, about women, in all of the things that could entail. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, oh my goodness. I just don't know where we could go on, and I'm just looking, I'm like, oh my goodness, we're already way beyond, well, not way, but this has been absolutely amazing. And guys, just so excited about what's coming. And I knew this wouldn't be a one-off, the Fantastic Grown Up Book Fair. So if you're watching this and it's after December 9th of 1923, never fear. Fantastic Grown Up Book Fair is evergreen. And so keep your attention, and reach out and chat with these ladies about what they're doing. And if you're an author that wanted to participate and couldn't get in, then come and join in the fun, and do the networking and visit.
Yeah.
And I have one more question for you guys before I let you go. I know what it's like managing events.
Mm-hmm.
So will you actually be at a table selling your books, or will you be running around making sure the event's going smoothly, or both?
It's a really good question.
We haven't already figured out that our tables will be, well, my daughter will be at them, and
Good.
she will be selling the books, and we have another friend who is going to be beside her, so that they can kind of tag team.
Oh, excellent.
So Erin and I need to run away. And of course, Heather has also offered to come, but we'll see how she does with this new baby.
Bring the baby. There'll be lots of people who want to hold babies.
For sure.
I'm sure. Well, guys, thank you ever so much. And we're so excited about this and looking forward to seeing you on the 9th. Lana Shoup says only 19 more sleeps. Yay!
And anyone watching, please follow us on social media, The Grown Up Book Fair, because that's how we get the word out about everything. And
excellent.
We have reached, this blows my mind, so I have to say it, but our social media reach has reached over 20,000 people in the last month.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Oh my gosh. We'll have to have you come back and talk about branding and social media. Congratulations.
For someone who doesn't do social media as a job, I've done a lot of it lately.
No kidding. Well, this is a perfect example of, how taking an idea and running with it just can make amazing things happen. So again, thanks guys for coming on and talking.
Thanks so much, Anne.
Thank you, Anne.
My pleasure. Fantastic Grown Up Book Fair coming to a theater near you. No,
region near you.
Yeah, I want to see the play We Happy Few. So we'll see you guys real soon on the flip side. And thank you all. I can't believe we blew past our half hour, but it was just such wonderful discussion and excitement around the Fantastic Grown Up Book Fair coming on December 9th. So hopefully you'll get out and get your shopping list together and buy for yourself and all those bookish people that are on your shopping list. So for now, I'm Anne O'Connell with OC Publishing, and I'll see you next time on The Author Journey. Have a great one.